Hello, Brad Groundling, 62.
Hi, Elaine Grodley, 70.
Everybody feels fear. Whether it's the fear of losing your job or the fear of a spider in the shower, fear is an emotion that everybody feels. Horror is a genre that allows people to explore that fear but in a safe and contained way. Horror also is a genre that allows people to explore the political landscape in a safe way, especially when the political landscape is one that is scary. While there are very many representations I could use for this, the three main time periods I would like to use in regards to horror movies coinciding with their political landscape will be the 1950s, the mid to late 2000s, and the early 2020s. The 1950s came with a fear of nuclear power and what that could do to people and the environment around it. In July of 1945, the first atomic bomb was detonated in the desert of New Mexico. A couple months later, we sent two bombs over to Japan to destroy Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And only a few years after that, in 1949, the USSR announced that they had their own atomic bomb. This created a feeling of unrest across the country, the fear that at any point our entire country could just be wiped from the earth. And there were two films that I feel very well show this fear from two different countries. The first film is Them, which came out in America in 1954. The other film is Gojira, which came out in Japan the same year. Them is about a colony of ants that get irradiated and attack a New Mexican city, while Gojira, or Godzilla, is about a fire breathing creature that is awoken by hydrogen bomb testing underwater. Moving from the 1950s into the mid to late 2000s, first thing we have to look at is what happened in the 2000s. Many people know that in 2001, 9/11 happened, which obviously caused a bunch of panic to spread through the nation. Within this panic, we had the Bush administration stating that they supported torture in order to get results. Dick Cheney calling waterboarding just a dip, and the American people seeing Iraqis getting tortured by the U.S. Army just on their television, on their computers. It was a level of violence never before seen. But it gave way for something new, something grimier and darker than 70s exploitation. We got what is known as torture porn. The two main films that spearheaded this would be Saw, which came out in 2004, and Hostel, that came out in 2005. Both films show people getting captured and tortured in grotesque ways. The only way this was truly palatable was because people had already seen worse on their own. Eli Roth has been quoted in saying that he created Hostel to prey on the fear that Americans have that if they leave their country, they may not make it back alive. Going past the 2010s, which was mainly remakes, we go into the early 2020s. In 2022, the Supreme Court ruled to overturn Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade is what gave women full bodily autonomy, the understanding that they had the right to decide whether or not they should be forced to carry a baby to term. When that was stripped away, many women felt fear. They were terrified. They were laying in bed wondering, what am I going to do should worst case scenario happen? We now have rape victims that might be forced to carry their rapist child, which of course led to a few more movies being made. In the years of 2023 and 2024, we had a giant influx in horror movies that revolved around pregnancy. Two of the main ones that I wanted to mention are Immaculate and Alien Romulus, both films that came out in 2024. Immaculate's about a woman who moves to the Italian countryside only to be forcibly impregnated by a priest who is trying to bring the second coming of Christ, but ends up actually just impregnating her with a demon. The second film, Alien Romulus, well, it's an alien movie. Alien movies are it's nothing new to approach the subject of forced pregnancy. The creation of the face hugger, the chest burster, all of that comes from the fear of being forcibly impregnated and being forced to go through the traumatic process of giving birth to that child. When you're terrified, it is easy to find escapism to be your best friend, the ability to shut your brain off and just kind of explore the world. And when you see those fears realized on the big screen, but then they get defeated by the good guys, you're able to feel better and hopeful. But with the constantly shifting political climate, what horror focuses on is always going to shift with it. So the question then becomes, what keeps you up at night?